I really underestimated how to put these jump cuts together. Like, this is so hard. My name is Autumn, and I am here just to touch on a video that I saw by a specific creator. And I know a lot of creators touch on this topic, but this is something that I saw today, and it really caught my eye and it caught my attention. I'm very passionate about racial issues, race relations, Black American history. And although my degree is in psychology, I am just very interested and do tons of research on my own about the Black American experience and what it means to be Black. Today I'm making a response video, and well, not really a response video, a commentary in response to Amir Odom's Why Black Fatigue is on the Rise. I think this brings up a really good topic that a lot of creators touch on, and one of my favorite things to talk about: race relations. Am I close enough? Okay, maybe I should mark where I'm at. In this video, Amir touches on why he thinks that Black fatigue exists, his experience with the Black community. He opens up about his own feelings about Black fatigue. He invites in some other creators, TikTok videos with people expressing their experience with Black fatigue. I think the problem with this sort of content, and it's not just him who makes this content, there's plenty of creators who do. This is just the video that I saw. But I think the problem with this sort of content is that it reinforces harmful rhetoric, harmful labels towards the Black community and the Black experience that can ultimately lead to our detriment. And I think it's interesting to see other Black creators, especially Black creators who have a lot of influence, make commentary on these things and shout statistics that further reinforce these negative ideas. In this video, he does point out a few statistics, but he neglects to tell the whole story. I think we need to start off with a definition of what Black fatigue is, what its original meaning was, and where it ended up, how it ended up there, so that we can really, understand what it is that he and the other creators in the video are referring to. So the term Black fatigue was coined in a book by Mary Frances Winters titled White Fragility. And it discusses the emotional and physical exhaustion experienced by Black people living in America due to systemic racism, microaggressions, different things that we experience while being here, the Black experience. So the term did become broader. It got a broader definition on TikTok and social media platforms, where Black people would use the term Black fatigue to address their frustrations with the behavior of some of the other people in the Black community, the lack of unity in the Black community, and it somehow spiraled into something that was extremely negative for the Black community. And discussing such nuanced topics like these without giving any sort of context or any background, or without giving the full picture, further contributes to biased conclusions about our race. I certainly believe that reflection in the Black community can be very helpful, that we call out our own people. However, when you make videos that only voice frustrations and doesn't give a full picture of what is going on, it also limits our understanding so that we can attempt to problem solve. So it also left me questioning, what was the goal with this video? And even in the video, he includes some takes from TikTok that are not in alignment with his take. They are like addressing the issues that may contribute to that. They even bring up, one of the creators that he brings up systemic racism, and he takes such an individualistic approach and is like, well, I've never missed out on an opportunity that I wanted because of the color of my skin. And it was so... What are we talking about here? Are you just not understanding the full... I feel like this is a much better place for me to be. I'm not sure. I think this is better. I'm gonna leave it right here because I don't have to like watch where I'm at. So the first topic I want to touch on from the video is the victimhood mindset that he brings up. This is a big part of the video, a big topic that comes up a lot throughout the 44 minutes of him saying that Black people, the Black community, we have a victim mindset. He talks a lot about how older generations may have had it hard, but we no longer have it hard. Those things are not still prominent today. And he also references Code Blue Cam as evidence for Black people perpetuating the victim mindset. And don't get me wrong, had he only mentioned it one time, I probably wouldn't even, but 2 to 3 times, like, he genuinely thinks that this is a credible source to support the claims that he's making about Black fatigue and the way that he's experiencing it. And with any sort of research, we would know that Code Blue Cam is a monetized YouTube channel that follows the Wisconsin Police Department. And with some additional research, we know that Wisconsin is ranked the lowest in racial equality, or one of the lowest. It has ample amounts of racial discrimination. And so not only are we using a YouTube channel that profits off of, showing people at their worst, it also... These are videos that are curated, a feed that is curated to continue to reinforce a stereotype. He says it himself. The majority on that channel, he says it himself, the majority of the people on that channel are Black and brown people. Well, Black people. He didn't say brown, he said Blacks. The majority of the people on that channel are Blacks who just won't comply. They're acting crazy. And yet, he's not asking the $1 million question, which is, since we want to talk about statistics, he brings up statistics in this video, data. He also mentions that white people make up the majority of the American population. They also make up the majority of the Wisconsin population. Black people only make up 6% of Wisconsin's population, and yet they are in the majority of those videos. Quickly, why do we think that is? Quickly now. I don't want to spend too much time on the reference of Code Blue Cam and why that is ludicrous to even bring up when discussing a topic like this. But I want to go over to what he states about Michelle Obama, Black elitism, and how it all still ties into the victimhood mindset of Black people. So he mentions in the video how Michelle Obama, she faced certain racial disparities in her time that he makes it known that are not still relevant today. She made it through. She became a millionaire, or she became very successful, and that in itself should have solved racial inequality and social injustice and racial disparity, and because Michelle Obama paved the way. I believe that is the gist of what he was getting at there. Which I'm not sure who's gonna break the news to him that Michelle Obama got into Harvard Law School in 1985. She graduated in 1988, so not too far off from the 1990s. So in other words, not that long ago. I have an older brother who was born in the 80s. I wasn't that long ago. Using that example, I think we should also talk about Michelle Obama's experience with racial disparity and racism even after she graduated from Harvard. So, surprise, her becoming the first lady did not somehow magically get rid of all the racial disparities and racism and systemic racism in which Black people experience on a day-to-day basis. She publicly detailed a time that she was in Target and a white woman asked her for help and stated to her that she assumed, the white woman assumed that Michelle Obama was the help. So you may have noticed I touched up because I was getting a little oily in here. So moving on, he does touch on something, and I have it written down almost verbatim what he said. So he was speaking about in terms of Black fatigue and the type of Black people that he's tired of, the hood, ghetto, not like the normal good Black people. He states, it's the culture, it's parenting, it's the home. It's so deep rooted. It's almost like he is so close yet so far from just a little bit of grace and a little bit of understanding. It's like he's right here, but then he like falls off, crashes, and burns. And that is correct. Racial disparities are so deeply rooted in Black culture that it does affect the way some people grow and develop. Systemic racism shows up in inadequate health care for Black individuals, especially in inner cities. It shows up in educational barriers. It shows up in late or incorrect diagnoses. It shows up in broken family systems due to the disproportionate amount of Black men that are incarcerated, creating broken homes, further adding to a lack of support system that is needed for children to grow into these human beings that we want more of in the Black community. Well-rounded, well-educated, open-minded, polite. But I think we're neglecting the fact that some people were not taught another way to act because it is so deeply rooted. This is where we can think about the effects of generational trauma and how certain mindsets and ideas are passed down from one generation to another. And so these people that we write off as ghetto, hood, inconsiderate, loud, mean, I think when we have conversations like this without making room for understanding, without making room for grace, then we set up a system where we are allowing even other races to comment and misconstrue things and to kind of further implement the same systems that we are still actively trying to dismantle. And that's the problem, or one of the problems, I'd say, with videos like this, because you completely ignore the fact that these systems are still in place. And when you don't understand that, you can be spewing harmful rhetoric that is, again, actively contributing to a system that is still very strong, very prominent, and you wouldn't even know. Facts do not cease to exist just because you ignore them or just because it doesn't directly affect you, which, based upon your commentary, I don't even think you would know how to find out if it is affecting you, or maybe you just don't care. So the next thing and the last thing, because editing is really just, I kind of edit as I go. The next topic I want to cover on the video is this idea of select outrage. During this part of the video, and again, I did take notes, so I'll be looking at those. He does make a few comments that, yes, it is wrong that there's the rare cases of black men being shot down or killed, in reference to white police officers killing black men. And he mentions, or he asks the question, why does it take that for white on black crime, but not for black on black crime? It's crickets for black on black crime. Just in reference to the lack of support that black people show for the fight against black on black crime. I want to make something very prominent. I want to put something at the forefront of this topic, because he does mention the rarity of police killings. And as you would know, police killings are actually extremely common. In fact, the only thing that is rare about police killings are convictions for the police officers. The average is about 3 per day, and that number only dropped in 2021, following the year that George Floyd was brutalized and murdered. Now, in regards to black on black crime, I do agree with the idea that black on black crime is a major issue in the black community. I don't even think it's an idea or an opinion. It is a fact that murders and homicides disproportionately affect black men and the black community way more than it affects the white population. Now, although this is true, we shouldn't neglect some of the things that do contribute to this. Going back to some of the ideas that I brought up earlier in the video, the struggle with mental health issues and the lack of resources. A lot of these people who are committing these homicides do not understand self-regulation or cannot self-regulate. We think about broken homes, generational trauma, we have to bring up ACEs.